Hey guys, I think it's day 82. It is 43 degrees out here. Yesterday was in the 80s. This is ridiculous. Today I am wearing the APL Concept 3. They also might be called boomers. Not exactly sure on that. APL is Advanced Propulsion Labs. Here it is from the side. And from the other side, as soon as I heard about these things, I think they were released back in 2013. This is not the first model, but again, it's like, I think the third model, but it was around that time. It might have went all the way up as early as 2011. But as soon as I heard about these shoes, I was like, oh my God, I gotta try those. The problem is that at around that time, the shoes were just really expensive, and I was not willing to pay that kind of money for those shoes at that time. But over the years, I kept my eye on eBay and Macari and stuff like that, and I eventually was able to score a pair. I still paid a pretty good penny because people that had them, I guess for the most part, kept them, or they either trashed them or something, but they just really weren't out there on the market that much, at least in my size. And that's kind of the dangerous game that you play when you find a pair of shoes that you really like and you decide to wait for the moment to try to get them cheaper. They may not come back out on that market, and it's really tough to find them. And then you're searching and scouring, and you might find one pair that gets listed somewhere, and that person wants a ridiculous price. But that's a game you play. So if you're watching this, you probably know what the shoes are about. But if not, the shoes are kind of famous or infamous for having this load and launch technology in the shoe that was supposedly banned by the NBA. Now, I don't know for a fact whether or not that was banned from the NBA, but that was the claim that was made by the company. So embedded within this shoe is like, I believe it's a square kind of disc. Think, small credit card just shaped little rectangle where they've got these tiny springs in the shoe. Countless YouTubers have tested the shoes and shown no performance gains whatsoever, and they all pretty much describe them as a dud. I'm giving feedback on just how are they as a casual shoe, in this case just as an older guy wearing them, taking a walk for an hour. One of the first points I'll make with the shoe is that for whatever reason it was a little harder to get into the shoe. It's always kind of seemed that way, and it's really constructed very similar to most every other shoe out there. It's just the shape of the upper, the type of laces that they used. It hasn't been very forgiving, so I have to basically open the shoe up completely as wide as I can get it, put the foot in, and then lace it down, and it doesn't ever seem to be, for whatever reason, consistent. As soon as if I take the shoe off now and I want to put it on, say 30 minutes later, I will have to redo the laces all over again. It's kind of frustrating. Yesterday, I was out in the LeBron 10 Elites, and that shoe is it's actually very similar in terms of how they feel on feet to this pair of shoes. They're not what I would describe lightweight, because you have this extra stuff down there in the bottom of the cushion, but they're not exactly heavy either. Like, you can move in these, you could play ball in these, and it would be fine. The ventilation seems like it would be okay, acceptable. It's got this mesh of sorts all around the shoe. The shoe feels rather rigid, so very similar again to the LeBron 10 Elites. And they're released around the same time, so it's to be expected. As far as fit goes, the toes in my left foot would be like I don't know the official names, but like my third and fourth toe are like cramped in this toe box. And it's kind of odd because my right foot is a little bit bigger than my left, so it should be the one messed up. But in this case, it's the left foot, and it is odd. You know, when I'm getting ready in preparation for these videos, I kind of put these shoes in order and from like release date. And then after that, I don't look at the shoes until the day of. And that gives me an element of surprise for the day, kind of something to look forward to each day. As I wake up, I'm like, okay, I'm going to tackle that pair. It's really cool. It's like a little surprise. But when I was putting the LeBrons up from yesterday, I kind of just peeked over and I saw what was next, and I was like, oh. And it kind of like broke my heart a little bit, because every time that I've worn these shoes, probably 3 or 4 times out and about, you know, sometimes for the full day, sometimes not. But every time I've worn them, I haven't been impressed. And I was hoping that maybe, just maybe, if I could get everything right with the laces and all that, maybe something would be a little different today. Because sometimes, you know, your feet can be moody. Sometimes a pair of shoes feels like crap that day, and other times they feel okay. So I was hoping I would feel something good for today. Unfortunately, I can't say that's the case. When it comes to like how they feel as just a standard shoe, is just that it feels like a very hard basic shoe, nothing more. There is no feeling of springiness. There is no responsiveness. It's not a lightweight, nimble shoe. I'm not going to describe this as a horrible shoe. I'm just going to say kind of not great. And that was such a bummer, man, because like I said before, as soon as I found out about it, the concept just sounded really cool. Banned by the NBA, so automatically you got a little bit of hype behind it, and you're like, man, can these make me jump like an inch higher, you know, like, or you don't know, you know, but it's a letdown. It's kind of crazy to me to think that they were making shoes like this back in 2013, and in reality all they needed to do was kind of model shoes after a shoe released in 1995, the Jordan 11, because frankly, all the way up to this point, at least through time of the shoes that I have, the Jordan 11 kind of flanks them all, just kind of beats all of them. Well, on the topic of weight loss, I've snacked 4 nights in a row, and yesterday I had a double cheeseburger with everything, a little box full of fries, and a Dr. Pepper. So how do you think my weigh-in is going to go this Thursday? And then the day before that, I had the Chinese buffet. So what am I doing? I'm like 36 minutes into this walk, and I gotta talk to a man about a dog. And those of you in the South, you know what I'm talking about. And I still got 20 minutes to go before I can even talk to that man. You know, every shoe is built differently and shaped differently, fits differently, and therefore kind of affects the gait in which you walk. Sometimes it can improve performance depending upon what you need it for, but for whatever reason, in this pair of shoes, in the left foot, it is making the back of the knee very, very sore. It's making it overwork for some reason. It's strange. It's the back of the knee, and I've not felt that before in any other pair of shoes. It might be where I have to curl the toes to compensate for that lack of room in the toe box. Very odd. The entire left knee, though, feels strained in these shoes. Not good. Well, my Kentucky Wildcats kind of bit the dust with Iowa State yesterday. The first half, they fought really hard, and it gave us realistically some false hope. But those guys played with so much heart. And then the second half happened, and Iowa State decided to actually play. And then we had so many turnovers. I think it was like 20. I had to stop watching. I probably only watched like 2 minutes of the second half because it was just a massacre. I couldn't really watch it. So my day was complete trash there for a while, all up until the point that Florida got their butt kicked, and that made me feel a lot better. That coach is a dick, and his players are thugs, redneck thugs. And I understand the irony of rednecks in Kentucky, but go down to Florida, you'll find a lot of rednecks there too, for sure. Let's check in on the shoes. They're a disappointment. I'm going to keep them because they're a part of shoe history, but they sadly are a disappointment. Well, that's going to be it for me today. I will see you all later, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Oh, one last thing before I forget. Thank you to the 28 28th and 29th subscriber. I don't know who you all are, but thank you guys. Later.